Hey, coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Welcome back to our channel. If you're a fan of rare coins or just love learning about hidden treasures, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of a coin that's worth way more than you'd think, way more than just 1 cent. We're talking about the 2001 1 cent coin. But wait, this isn't your average penny. It's got a history, rarity, and value that will blow your mind. Stick around until the end because this penny could be worth a staggering $5 million. Yes, you heard that right, $5 million. So, how did a simple penny become one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history? Let's find out. Alright, let's start with the basics. If you were to walk into a store today and pick up a 2001 penny, you'd probably pay exactly 1 cent for it. But this penny isn't just like the ones you'd find in your pocket change. No, this coin has a unique story, one that makes it stand out from the millions of other pennies produced each year. This penny was made as part of the regular U.S. Mint production in 2001, which is a relatively unremarkable year in terms of design and production for most collectors. But what makes this coin incredibly special isn't its design. It's the circumstances surrounding a very rare mistake. A mistake that turns this simple penny into an extremely valuable collector's item. In 2001, there was an error during the minting process that resulted in a small number of pennies being produced with the wrong design. And when I say wrong design, I'm talking about a huge misstep. Normally, the reverse side of a penny features the Lincoln Memorial, right? But some 2001 pennies were accidentally stamped with a reverse design that should have appeared on the 2000 penny, which had a completely different motif. But here's where things get wild. Only a few of these misstamped pennies were actually produced and made it into circulation. So why does this make the coin so valuable? Well, rarity is a big part of the equation. There were so few of these error coins made, and they didn't stay in circulation for long. Many of them were quickly caught and pulled out by collectors or even the U.S. Mint itself. So, how does a simple minting mistake lead to a coin worth millions of dollars? Well, the rare 2001 error pennies, sometimes referred to as the 2001 Lincoln Memorial reverse pennies, became a hot commodity in the collector's market. There are estimates that only a handful of these coins are in circulation today. Some even claim fewer than 10 examples exist. In the world of numismatics. Yes, that's the fancy word for coin collecting. Rarity and condition are key. When a coin is both rare and in great condition, its value can skyrocket. The value of one of these error pennies could fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $5 million depending on several factors like condition, provenance, and demand among collectors. It's not just about owning a rare coin, it's about owning a piece of history. Imagine finding this penny in your pocket or your spare change, not knowing it could potentially make you a fortune. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but how much have these error coins actually sold for? Let's talk real-world examples. One such penny was auctioned off for $2.5 million in a well-known auction house back in 2019. This wasn't the only one to make headlines. Other 2001 error pennies have sold for impressive amounts, with some reaching as high as $5 million. These sales are a testament to just how highly sought after these coins are. If you stumble upon one, you could be holding on to more than just a simple penny. You could be holding a small fortune. Alright, you're probably wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare pennies? Well, it's a little tricky because the minting error is subtle. Here's what you need to look for. Look at the reverse side. As we mentioned, the 2001 penny should feature the Lincoln Memorial. If you spot one that instead features the 2000 design, which features a shield instead of the memorial, you may have found something special. Check the mint mark. Another critical aspect to check is the mint mark. These error pennies were made at the Philadelphia Mint. If you find one without a mint mark, as the Philadelphia Mint sometimes produces coins without a mint mark that could be an indicator of something rare. Look for clarity and detail. If the coin is in pristine condition, it's even more valuable. Coins that have been kept in good condition, without too many scratches or wear, are far more likely to fetch high prices at auction. Consult a professional. If you're not sure whether you've found one, it's a good idea to take it to a professional coin appraiser or to a reputable dealer who can authenticate the coin for you. Now, if you found one of these rare 2001 era pennies, should you sell it? Well, that depends. If you're not a collector, you might want to consider selling it, but don't just rush to the first offer. Like any rare item, make sure you're getting a fair price and doing your research before making any decisions. But here's the thing, not every 2001 penny will be worth millions, and not every mistake coin will command a high price. But for those lucky enough to find one of these rare, error-filled pennies, the payout could be life-changing. So keep an eye on your spare change. You never know what might be worth more than its face value. And if you're serious about coin collecting, maybe it's time to start looking at your pennies a little more closely. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you've learned something about the incredible value of the 2001 1-cent era coin. Who knew something as small as a penny could be worth so much? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more amazing content, and leave a comment if you've ever stumbled upon a rare coin. Who knows, maybe you're sitting on a fortune right now. Thanks for watching, and remember, every penny counts, especially when it's worth millions. Next. Hey, coin collectors and history buffs. Welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wondered how something as simple as a 1-cent coin could end up being worth millions? Well, today, we've got an extraordinary story for you. We're talking about the 2001 cent coin, but not just any penny. This particular coin has an amazing history and an even more incredible value. Imagine holding a penny that's worth a whopping $2 million. Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, it's real. Stick around as we break down the fascinating details about why the 2001 cent coin could be your ticket to a fortune. Let's jump right into it. Okay, let's get started with the basics. The 2001 cent coin, or as we call it, the penny, was part of the standard U.S. Mint production. The design is the same as many other pennies we see today. On the obverse side, you've got Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president, who has been the face of the penny since 1909. On the reverse side, you'll see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which had been the design since 1959. So, if you find a 2000 penny, you might think it's just another typical penny. But hold on, there's a big twist. Not all of these pennies are what they seem, and it's the unique set of circumstances surrounding the 2000 penny that makes it so valuable. Let's get into the heart of this story, the error that made some of these 2000 pennies incredibly valuable. So what happened exactly? Well, during the minting process of the 2000 pennies, there was a rare and significant error in production that affected a small number of coins. The error involved an unusual misalignment of the coin dies. This error meant that the reverse design, the Lincoln Memorial, was improperly struck on some of the 2000 pennies, which created a subtle yet highly sought-after variation. But here's where things get interesting. Only a few of these misprinted coins were ever made. Now, this isn't your typical misprint. The specific error resulted in a double strike, which led to an incredibly rare and unusual appearance on the coin. The image of the Lincoln Memorial became off-center and blurry in some cases. And while it might not sound like much, in the world of coin collecting, these kinds of subtle mistakes can make a coin worth a small fortune. Here's where the value comes in. The 2000 penny is a part of a very rare category of error coins. In the world of numismatics, it's all about rarity, demand, and condition. A coin with an error that's rare and still in good condition can fetch an astronomical price. You see, error coins like these 2,000 pennies are highly sought after by collectors, who are willing to pay top dollar to get their hands on them. Since only a handful of the misprinted 2,000 pennies exist, their rarity has driven their value through the roof. Depending on the condition and specific nature of the error, a 2,000 penny could be worth anywhere between $1,000 and $2 million if you've got a rare example in pristine condition. In fact, one of these error coins was sold at auction for an incredible $2.3 million just a few years ago. You might be asking, why would someone pay so much for a penny? Well, in the world of coin collecting, these rare pieces are seen as priceless artifacts. Owning a coin with such a unique flaw is not just about the value of the metal, it's about owning a piece of history. Now, let's talk about real-world examples of these coins selling at auction, because the story gets even crazier here. In 2018, a particularly rare 2,000 penny with a double die error was sold at an auction for a staggering $2 million. This particular coin was in near-perfect condition, and it featured the double strike error that collectors go wild for. It wasn't just any old penny, it was a mint-condition treasure, but this wasn't an isolated incident. Other 2,000 error pennies have also sold for high prices, and sometimes the estimates even reach up to $2 million or more. The rarity of these error pennies is what drives the price up, and the demand is fierce among serious collectors. If you happen to stumble upon one of these rare 2,000 pennies, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have one of these rare, valuable 2,000 pennies? Great question. The error is subtle, so you've got to know what you're looking for. Look for the double die error. The most common error on these coins is the double strike, which results in the Lincoln Memorial design being off-center. You'll notice that the detail on the reverse side of the coin is blurry, with multiple impressions of the memorial visible. Examine the edge of the coin. Check for any unusual indentations or additional marks on the edge of the coin. This could indicate a mistake in the die or press during minting. Condition is key. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. Look for pennies that are still shiny, well-defined, and free of heavy wear. Coins with visible wear or damage are worth significantly less. Check for a mint mark. The error coins were minted in Philadelphia, so they should not have a mint mark. If you find one with a mint mark, it's likely not part of the error series. Consult with a professional. If you think you found one, it's a good idea to take it to a coin appraiser or numismatic expert. They can confirm whether the penny is a valuable error coin or just another regular penny. Now, let's talk about whether you should sell your coin if you find one. The decision to sell is entirely up to you, but before you do, there are a few things you should keep in mind. Get a professional evaluation. Don't just sell your rare coin to the first person who offers you money. Get it appraised by a certified expert or take it to a reputable auction house. Hold on to it for a while. These rare coins often appreciate in value over time. If you can afford to wait, you might find that it's worth even more down the road. Know the market. The market for rare coins fluctuates, so be sure you understand the current market before deciding to sell. Sometimes, waiting for the right buyer can net you a much higher price. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you found this story about the 2001 cent coin as fascinating as I did. Who would have thought a simple penny could be worth millions, right? So next time you're checking your spare change, be sure to look a little closer. You might just have a future millionaire maker in your pocket. Before we dive into the incredible value in history, let's talk about what the 2001 cent coin is all about. If you look at a typical 2000 penny, it doesn't seem all that extraordinary. On the obverse side, we have Abraham Lincoln, just as we've seen on pennies for more than 100 years. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, which had been the design since 1959. But here's the thing. Although the 2000 penny is part of regular mint production, some versions of this coin carry an extremely rare and valuable error. These error pennies are what make this seemingly ordinary coin worth millions, and it all comes down to the production process and a mistake that was made during the minting of these coins. So, what happened during the minting of the 2000 penny? Well, as it turns out, the US Mint made a pretty rare mistake. Normally, when a coin is minted, the die, the metal stamp that imprints the design, is carefully aligned to ensure that the design appears correctly on the coin. But for some of the 2000 pennies, there was a misalignment of the dies. This resulted in a double strike error, which created a blurred and off-center image of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side of the coin. This misalignment meant that certain 2000 pennies had multiple impressions of the same design, causing the details on the reverse side to become double-stamped or blurry. To a regular observer, these pennies might look like any other coin, but to a numismatist, a coin expert, this is a game changer. Here's where the story gets interesting: rarity. You see, the rarity of these error coins is what gives them their incredible value. The US Mint doesn't release exact numbers for how many of these error coins were produced, but estimates suggest that only a handful of these misprinted pennies exist today. We're talking about fewer than 10 or even just a couple of examples that made it into circulation. In coin collecting, rarity is king, and when you combine rarity with a historical error, you get a coin that is incredibly valuable. The 2001 cent error pennies fall into this rare category, making them extremely desirable for collectors. The condition of the coin, or its grade, also plays a huge role in determining its value. A penny that's well preserved, with sharp details and minimal wear, is worth far more than a coin that's been heavily circulated. The demand for these error pennies is sky high. Rare coins like these attract attention from collectors worldwide, and auction prices reflect this. Some of these 2000 pennies have been sold for as much as $2 million, while others have fetched incredible prices in the range of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So how much can you really get for a rare 2000 error penny? To put things into perspective, let's take a look at some real-world sales. In 2018, one of these rare 2000 pennies with a double strike error sold for $2 million at a high-profile auction. This particular coin was in mint condition, with clear impressions of the Lincoln Memorial and minimal wear. Another example comes from a private sale, where a 2000 penny in excellent condition with a minor double die error went for over $1.5 million. Coins like these are highly coveted by collectors, as they represent both the historical significance of the year 2000 and the rarity of a production error that very few have ever seen. It's not just about the design, it's about owning a piece of US Mint history. Coins like this don't come around often, and when they do, they often create bidding wars among collectors who understand just how valuable they are. Now that we know how much these error pennies can be worth, you're probably wondering how to spot one in your pocket change. Well, it's not always easy, but there are a few key things to look for. Check the reverse design. The most significant error on these coins is the double strike error, where the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side appears blurry or out of focus. You may see two impressions of the memorial, one slightly overlapping the other. Look for misalignment. The coin may appear off-center, as if the die wasn't perfectly aligned when it struck the coin. This misalignment causes parts of the design to be incomplete or blurry. Examine the edge of the coin. Sometimes, an error coin will have additional marks or indentations along its edge that indicate it was struck incorrectly. Check the mint mark. Most 2000 pennies are minted in Philadelphia, so they won't have a mint mark. If you find a 2000 penny with a mint mark, it's not likely to be part of the rare error series. Condition is key. The condition of the penny is incredibly important. A well-preserved coin is worth far more than a heavily circulated one. Look for coins with little to no wear, and check if the details are still sharp and clear. Get a professional opinion. If you think you've found a rare penny, the next step is to have it authenticated by a professional. You can take it to a certified coin appraiser or contact a reputable coin dealer to confirm whether your penny is truly a valuable error coin. So, what's driving the demand for error coins like the 2000 penny? It comes down to a combination of factors: rarity and historical significance. Error coins like the 2000 penny are incredibly rare. They represent a mistake in the minting process, which makes them both unique and valuable. The collectible market. There is a huge market for rare coins, and collectors are constantly searching for pieces that stand out. The 2000 error penny is highly sought after, especially because it's tied to the turn of the millennium, a time that many collectors associate with historical importance. Investment potential. Many collectors see rare coins not just as collectibles, but as investment opportunities. As the demand for these coins grows, their value tends to rise, making them potentially lucrative assets for the future. Now, let's talk about whether you should sell your rare 2000 penny. If you've got one, it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. But before you make any decisions, here are a few things to consider. Get the coin authenticated. Never sell a rare coin without having it appraised by a professional. A certified coin grader can determine its authenticity and condition, ensuring you get the best possible price. Do your research. Look at recent sales of similar coins to get an idea of what your penny could be worth. Auctions like those held by Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers often set record prices for rare coins. Consider holding on to it. If you don't need to sell immediately, you might want to hold onto the coin for a while. Error coins like the 2000 penny often appreciate in value over time, so waiting for the right buyer could help you get even more money in the future. Wow, who knew a penny could be worth so much, right? The 2001 cent error coin is a prime example of how rare mistakes in the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into a small fortune. So next time you're looking through your change, don't just toss that penny aside. It could be worth millions. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories from the world of coin collecting, and leave us a comment telling us about your rare coin finds. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Happy collecting!